Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and founder of Agile Dad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand Up. So, without any further ado, let's get started. It's Friday. We actually made it. So, congratulations on making it. It's been an awesome week. Things couldn't be any better. And as always, I want to share with you on Friday an Agile, not so Agile episode. So, I was going through a long list of items that I wanted to talk about. I've got a lot of these. But today, I wanted to talk about a comment that one of the students in my class recently made. So, we were talking about David Allen specifically and getting things done, GTD. Speaking of which, we haven't read that. It's absolutely amazing. You need to. And one of the things about GTD, getting things done, is it's called the art of personal productivity. And we're talking about how to become highly productive. And his answer to me was sort of stunning. He says, Lee, he says, I can tell you now, this is an area where I don't have trouble. It's something that I found to be quite easy. He says, in order to be highly productive, you need to be more like a monk. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, monks just kind of sat around and didn't talk and didn't do much. Like, oh, I want to hear more about this. And I think that once we sat down and started the conversation, it made a lot more sense. He said, one of the things that we do is we have a bad habit of celebrating how busy we are. We celebrate busyness like it's a merit badge as a Boy Scout or something, like it's our eagle, right? And most people are proud of how busy they are. As long as they're doing a lot of things, they should achieve success soon, right? I'm so busy, I've got to be successful sooner or later. For me, it's fascinating to see how most busyness is actually a distraction and gets in the way of the productivity that you need. So the people who you see that are running around with their hair on fire, the sky is falling all day, that appear to be the busiest, are the ones which are usually rewarded with the most compliments, admiration, or even a promotion, but they're usually the ones who are the least productive. I mean, I really do believe that this is the wrong thing to celebrate. I think that what we need to talk about today is how we align and how we prioritize things and the difference between being busy and being productive. So, being productive has a totally different concept or context than just being busy. I see people who run around all day that have nothing to do with making fast, focused progress towards an important goal. It usually winds up being a smokescreen that covers up for real productivity. Um, there was a quote that I heard a long time ago. I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't remember the author, but it said, yes, I know we're all very busy, but what exactly is being done? What exactly is getting done? And I think the busier you are, the less time, energy, and attention you have for the few things that you should be doing. That's a concept from David Allen, right? You need to focus on the things that truly move the needle. It was Mark Twain who said, eat the live frog first, right? We need to get those things out there that we should be doing first and set us on a path to be focused to be successful. I don't know about eating a live frog, but anyway, neither here nor there. That's why in order for you to become truly productive, you need to be more intentionally focused and calm, kind of like a monk. So I want to share with you just a few key tips, some of the things that I found in my personal life that help me to stay focused and to get to where I need to be. The first one is, if it's not essential, I'm not doing it. I cut out everything that's inessential. So according to the 80-20 principle, 20% of what we do each day yields the desired result, 80% of the desired result. So it's important for us to look at how productive we are and focused on the 20% instead of letting the 80% rule what we do. If you break things down in a list, usually you can quickly discover that only a few things truly matter in the grand scheme of things. We need to take time to identify what those priorities are, protect our time and energy for those, and focus as much as possible on the execution of those high impact things. We need to make sure we're focused on the right things. Any other busy work, or what I call low value work, is merely a distraction. And they're things that could possibly still need to be done. I'm not saying that they're not things that need to happen, but they're not the things that are going to help us at the highest level. So I think it's a matter of prioritization. And I think the problem that comes here, and you've heard me say this a bunch of times, is that when we hear the word priority, we often associate that with importance. And I think that that's not the case. Just because something is, really important doesn't mean it's high priority. We could have a lot of things that are important, right? Oh, this is very important that I do this, or it's incredibly important that I achieve these things. But the question is, are they really high priority? And I think that that's a touching point that a lot of people don't want to talk about. For me, when I think about it, I look at it this way. Priority doesn't equal importance, priority equals urgency. And I think the message that I'm trying to send here is that we need to be able to discern between the two. We need to be able to know when something is important, is it urgent? Because we can fill our days, and most of us do, with a lot of things that are incredibly important, but just really aren't urgent, and they're not high priority, and they're the things that suck away most of our valuable energy and time. If we focus on the things that are going to help us to be successful, we're going to spend time and energy on the things that are going to move us, not time. And I guess let's put it this way. The busier you are, the busier you feel, the least likely you're going to be successful or succeed. If you can be selective and do less, that's the path to productivity. Focus on the most important few and ignore the rest, right? And when I say ignore, it doesn't mean ignore forever. It just means there's a time and a place where those things will become more urgent, but right now they're not. I think that the second key is we need to start by stopping. We need to stop celebrating being busy. We need to start celebrating the people who cut out the busy work in our lives, the people who help us be successful. I remember when I first started Agile Dad, I was always filled with busy work. I had so many things I needed to do. And it took time for me to actually realize that when I made the most income and saw the best business growth, that I learned to hone in my focus, whether it was writing a strong blog post to grow my audience, whether it was creating high quality products and services, like, make sure we're perfecting all of the manuals for our courses, for example, or how we're offering our digital offerings, and then improving the way that I communicate with those people who are most important. When I focused on those three things, those 20% led to 80% of my success. I focused on outcome, not output, and those desired outcomes yielded income, impact, and growth, which is exactly what I needed. I think that sometimes the most productive people are the ones that are calm, centered, and I'm going to go here. Sometimes they even appear lazy. Instead of frenetically running around like hyperactive on steroids, right? They often do look more like a monk when you sit down and think of it. It's because when you are really prioritizing things in your life, and here comes the shocker, it requires you to slow down. Slow down. Take things in slowly. Focus on the high impact things that are going to happen. Focus on the things that are going to yield the best outcome and the greatest reward for you. Don't necessarily focus on everything from a financial perspective, but focus on things from an impact perspective. And I think that if we can look at things from the outside looking in, that we'll be able to see that real productivity often looks like inactivity from the outside perspective. And if we can get there, there's really no rush, right? If we think intelligently about the best route to take, sometimes we can beat the person who's speeding taking the wrong route. We should relax. We need to turn it down a notch. I often hear people talking about, we're going to scale and get bigger. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Let's scale back, right? And it scares people to death. But I think in our own lives, in our personal lives, we need to take our time to think about where we are, condition ourselves to be ready, and constantly put ourselves in a reactive mode. And I guess I should change that around. We're always in a reactive mode. I think we need to be more in a proactive mode, where we're choosing what we're going to do instead of always reacting to the things that are happening around us. That's where I was trying to go. I think that if, and I believe it was Steve Jobs, I'm trying to remember this, he said, deciding what not to do is more important than deciding what to do. And I love that quote, right? You hear me say that all the time. I think that the most successful people in the world are the ones who can decide what not to do. So to become more productive, aim to be like a monk. Don't try to do everything. Be more intentional and deliberate about what you're going to do. Be more focused. Choose your battles daily. Do less, focus more, and realize that in the grand scheme of things, most of the busyness that's surrounding you are things that people don't care about anyway. I know that sounds so harsh, but that yields the last thing that you need to do. Go do it. Don't sit around and wait for somebody to present a tablet, a formula, a book, or something to you. If you need a little inspiration, I do recommend Getting Things Done by David Allen. It's an incredible book. It's an incredible program. But more importantly, I think even if you just take today and take a deep breath and sit back and analyze the things that are most important to you, that it's going to help you grow intentionally. And it's going to help you be focused, and it's going to help you really pursue your dreams. That's all for today. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I really do love each and every one of you who take the time to subscribe and listen to these podcasts. It helps drive me towards my goals. And I hope that you can gain something of value that's going to help you be an even better person today to lead to a greater future tomorrow. Until next week, make sure you take care and stay safe out there. We'll see you on Monday.